The first thing is, it's been mentioned tonight about untruths. The mayor has stated that I have a new pickup that would be just a few years old, which there was no transactions that I bought from the city. He stated that it's parked in front of my house. There is a later model white pickup parked in front of my house, which belongs to Holly Erickson, my neighbor across the street. I did buy a surplus 95 S10 from the city, and there went through a bid process, and everything was documented at City Hall, and all the finances went through. I also, about a year and a half ago, bought a surplus dump truck through the city, and all the transactions and everything else, it was through a bid process. The mayor states that there was never any record of any of those transactions. He is lying and making my credibility look bad, and I don't like that one bit. And Betty I'm going to ask her to testify tonight that those transactions for the 95 pickup and the 74 dump truck did go through the records of the city. Would you verify that for me, Betty?
We have the receipt.
Yeah.
Mayor, you make a comment about Ken Barrett holding an interim public works community development position. It's my understanding that you hired him as the building inspector, code enforcement officer, and that is a union job.
Right.
And as such, most cases, you cannot hold a union job at an administrative position. And this council had turned him down as the public works director when you brought him before the council. So I question what legalities you have for having him as an interim public works community development director, and as a union bought off on a union employee working at an administrative position. And are you paying him dual admin? Are you increasing his salary? What is going on?
You want me to answer the question?
I asked you a question.
We all do. Yeah.
What's going on?
That's a question.
It's about time we cut costs down. The last public works director we had over here was drawing $140,000 a year of all money. One. We had a building inspector was drawing about $85,000 of all tax money. Two. I work with the union. They understood the condition, and I told them that I was cutting costs down and that I need their help. I'd like to place one man in charge of the two because of the workload. The workload has been reduced down to approximately 45%. I know because I've been doing that job for the last year. I know just exactly how much time it takes, how much work effort it takes for every department. That's what I was doing over the last year. I was monitoring and studying each organization and to find out how I can reduce the cost down. If I don't reduce the cost down, you people are going to end up without a city, and that's for real. It's coming.
Really? 140,000?
I'm talking.
Are you sure it wasn't
Now,
50,000?
will you please? Okay. I talked with the union. They agreed.
No, they don't.
to let me do it that way.
No, they don't.
I was capable of doing it that way because Ken Barnett was a former employee, and he have a tremendous experience with public work. And he's handling it, doing a bang-up job on it. In fact, he surprised me of many things that he's done over the last couple of weeks that I've neglected to even know about. Now, why am I doing it? I'll tell you why I'm doing it. To reduce costs. Now, what are you people doing in the council as far as the cost is concerned? I've got approval from the union, and he has the experience, so therefore I'm doing it.
He doesn't have the experience, he didn't get hired by the council for that public works director position, and as such, he's not qualified. The other issue is, if you've got approval from the union, do you have a documentation from the union stating that this is an authorized agreement, that he's gonna work out of the union part of his time? So if he can't work as a union employee in an administrative position.
Okay, let's not make an issue here in front of the public.
Why not? We wanna hear.
Okay, you want an issue? Fine.
We've had an
Add it to
issue.
the list of
You
issues.
started all the conversation saying, you started out with
Let's not make it a
you
mob.
got 80,000, 100,000.
This is not a mob meeting. This is supposed to be a legislative council meeting.
And as such, I've asked you a question.
Okay. First of all, I think the council should have this type of discussion in an executive session.
No, we wanna know how to.
Because when we have it in front of the public, we'll have an uncontrolled
You look bad.
meeting.
Wonder why.
And then I would suggest that the result be given to the public. Now, that was, as far as I'm concerned, I did it for the interest of the city, which I think was the interest of the city.
Executive session is not, Mayor, open for those two items. They're dealing with claims against the city, issues that would, the public at the time we were discussing it, do not need to understand that because of the possibility of liability to the city. This is an issue that you've put together, you've made public, contradictory to what the council has agreed to as far as the public works, community development director.
I proposed Ken Barnett for Public Works Director. I was turned down by the council. I hired him as a building inspector, and I put him as an acting position in the Public Works slot. And he's doing the job. Okay, so I violated the council, but I'm cutting costs. Now, you weigh the circumstances. And he stays there as far as I'm concerned because I'm the executive branch of the government. And that's my decision.
I just had a question for the city attorney.
Yeah.
Can we fill that position while it's still posted?
I do not believe you can.
I didn't hear you.
I believe the job is still posted until the end of the month, till December 31st, and I don't think we can legally fill that position while it's still being posted.
Is
That
that
was the
the
question.
senior citizen?
the Public Works Director.
This is the first time I ever heard about that. Thank you. I'll take it into consideration and let's discuss it.
So, I guess what we'll
Any
do-
other comments from the city council?
Yeah, on some other issues, going through some of the questions on newspaper regulations. There was legal research done on that earlier this year. It's in the record. I don't have it in front of me. There are strong precedents under both state and federal law allowing free newspaper distribution. We could attempt to draft regulation on it. We would expect significant legal expense defending any legislation on it. Seattle just spent a lot of money losing its case against Yellow Pages distribution. With our legal budget and all the other problems in the city, it really does not make sense for us to go out and take on additional legal challenges for something that speculative. I agree, I don't like getting newspapers, plastic bags thrown in my lawn. I pick them up myself all the time. If anybody else on my block wants them picked up, I'm happy to walk around and get theirs at the same time. I think other people in this city can do that if they'd like to. But I do not believe it would be a good use of our time and money to take on the Seattle Times and the Auburn Reporter in court to get them to stop distribution of their publications. The First Amendment is pretty strong on that. On the Auburn Reporter, you'll notice they have published a clarification of their original article. The CIAW board declined to renew our coverage and asked to be notified if there was a change in the executive. They did not specifically request a change in the executive. It would not be their place to do so. They said they weren't going to renew our coverage, but let us know if there was a change in the executive.
Any other city council comment over that? Any comments from the personnel? Public works personnel? Anybody else? City personnel?
Can I ask a question on personnel? Are we in fact still actively hiring for the director position, Public Works Director?
Yes, there is an ad that has been published for Public Works / Community Development Director. The ad closes on December 17th. And then from there, we hope that the mayor will form a committee to review the criteria and make a selection.
Okay, so the current position is still on an acting basis, not as a permanent placement in that position?
It's out there on the chart. Ken Barnett is on there. He's on acting. Does this satisfy you?
Yeah, I'm just making sure, just trying to clarify here that this is a temporary, that he is acting in that position while waiting for the hiring of an actual director for that position.
Yes. Trent?
Can we get an update on the hiring of the police officers, the vacant police positions?
Pardon?
Can we get an update on the vacant police positions and the process, how far we are in the hiring process?
You want me to answer that?
Yes.
Okay.
21 questions. Game.
Look at the police budget. It's a shocker. Look at how many people we've got in the police department. Compare that to Auden. The city of Auden. Look at the comparison. You can get the city of Auden police department. You can look at a comparison. They've got about twice the population we've got. About twice. I'm not really sure, but I'm just taking it in just for conversation's sake. the police budget is lower than ours.
Go be the mayor of
There's two more people that has to be hired. I'm thinking about it.
Think harder.
It's gonna take me a long time to make up my mind.
Population of Ording is 6,800, we have 6,600, just for
Okay,
clarification.
as far as police protection is concerned, I think we've got a good police protection.
We need more.
You people who's making comments, this is not a mob
No, but aren't you supposed to work for the people?
meeting. This is a orderly legislative meeting.
Then play by the
If you
rules.
have any respect, you conduct yourself accordingly. I'm sorry, we don't take any comments. You had your chance to comment. I'm sorry. Sure.
So, and the rest of the council can correct me if I'm wrong, but the 2013 budget includes 2 sergeants and 6 police officers. Is that correct?
One
Chief, how many
sergeant.
do we have currently? No?
One
sergeant.
One sergeant.
One sergeant, 6 officers.
6 officers.
And we have how many sergeants currently? 1? We have 1 lieutenant. How many officers? 4. So we have 2 vacant positions currently that are budgeted for.
I'm holding it. I'm not arguing. I'm holding that position.
Fill it.
Mr. Attorney, can you explain the mayor's responsibility in filling positions that are budgeted for?
As far as my responsibility is concerned, is protection of the city, and as yet, we are protecting the city, and I'm holding that budget. I'm thinking about it.
I'd like the attorney to answer the question.
The mayor is the chief administrative officer of the city, and we have budgeted position, and his responsibility is to fill it. The difficulty we have is that he has his own process by which that will occur, and we have to allow him to follow.
How much oversight does the council have in the way of policy?
I believe the only oversight the council would have would be to urge him to do so, and do so appropriately in a timely manner.
I would make that motion.
What was that? What was the gavel for? What
Well-
was the gavel for?
Pardon?
What was the gavel for?
The gavel was talking out of turn.
Oh, man. You had that in your hand for like 2
The
minutes.
attorney didn't ask permission to speak.
You're out of order.
Are we quiet?
Exactly.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
You have been for 12 months. You had that gavel in here for
Okay.
2 minutes before you even shut it down.
Okay.
Point of order, there's a motion on the floor.
Now you can, pardon?
There was a motion on the floor.
You made a motion.
There's a motion to urge the administration to fill the vacant police position.
Pardon?
There's a motion to urge the mayor to fill the vacant police position, and it's been seconded.
Who seconded the motion?
I did.
We all do.
Please.
Any comments from the first, from you who made a motion? Why did you make a motion?
I think it's important for public safety to fill the vacant offices. It's not only a public safety issue, it's an officer safety issue. We've got officers that can't take vacation. If we have an injured officer or a sick officer, they have to come in sick to cover their shift. We're relying on Auburn and Algona to fill gaps. Is any of that an untrue statement? So, I encourage you to fill those positions that are budgeted for.
You seconded a motion, have you had any comments?
Presently, I see a lot of people driving 40 miles an hour and 25 miles an hour, so we are lacking the officers sufficient for the traffic regulations. My grandkids grew up in this city 2 blocks from my house. There's other people in this room right now with small kids, and the traffic regulations are there for a purpose, and that's primarily to protect the kids and the elderly people. And if they aren't enforced, if we don't have the officers to enforce them, then if one of them gets hurt, it's on your head.
Debate by the council.
I have a
question for John. We've got, I don't know if it's only through the Small Cities Coalition, but I assume we have comps for other similarly situated cities and agencies that we use for union negotiations and others. Do you know, and I know we've got it, but I didn't bring it with me, how do we compare organizationally to the other cities that are actually our size and are agreed upon comparably?
We have, I can say our close comparables would be Snoqualmie, who have 15 commissions, Duval, 50 commissions, Black Diamond, just like that. Now we've got 10 commissions.
And where are we at?
8 right now.
And have you noticed over the last, pick 18 months, 12 months, 6 months, as we've lost some of the positions that were filled, what's happened to the crime rate in the city? Has it gone up, gone down, stayed the same?
We published that the property crime is doubled. We are not writing, I think we're writing 20% of the infractions that we did when we were fully staffed, and uncovering consistently supervision shifts with overtime.
How much have we spent ballpark overtime? I mean, you could even do it compared to last year. Is it twice as much as last year, half as much as last year?
We never paid supervisors. We didn't pay for those positions in overtime, so I'm guessing it's, I don't know. I need to commit to something that's not very accurate. I know that we're way up on overtime. Right now, we've got 2 officers out sick, so we're covering it with the detective, lieutenant, overtime.
We got 2,369 hours and 76 minutes of overtime on our voucher.
Just for tonight?
Yeah.
I'll remind the council that in the last, I'll just pick a number, 3 months, I think it was less than that, but council voted to extend officer vacation because it was gonna cap out and they were gonna start losing time because they can't take it. Is that right?
Yeah.
It didn't come back to council for a vote because it was discovered that the payroll clerk at the time allowed the system to detract from their leave bank without giving them the required 30-day notice. So we had to do an audit of the vacation time, and that has been accomplished, and notices are going out so that they have the 30 days to use their time, after which we would come to council and ask for an extension, per regulation. There's only 2 officers that are even up there.
Thank you. I think.
Any other council member comment?
One other thing, with only 4 officers on duty during the week, and being understaffed like we are, they're putting in a lot of overtime. When people are doing too much overtime, they get tired. When they get tired, they make mistakes. I know we have a professional police department, they're outstanding, but if they get tired and they make a mistake, that puts the city in further liability.
I'd also note we've lost a number of officers to hiring by other departments, and certainly the working conditions are a part of that. That if officers know they can go hire on at another department and not have to work as much overtime and actually be able to take their vacations, that's a very attractive thing for somebody who has a life outside of work. And that leaves us with another position to fill, new hiring expense, new training expense. It's not free money to keep these positions vacant.
Any other council comment? Okay, we'll go through it. call of council.
Point of order. Our rules require that before we take a vote on something, we ask for comments from the audience.
I'm sorry. Any comments from the audience about the police department? Jerry?
Variance 113, Third Avenue Southeast.
I support the, motion to hire, to fill the, vacancies. More public safety we have around here, the better.
Any other public comment?
I support the motion also, and also I just want to know, to operate as a city, if I'm mistaken, you are supposed to have a certain amount of officers, is that correct? And if we're only running with 4, we're not really operating as a city. Therefore, we're putting ourselves in liability again to get tossed out from an insurance company. So here we go again, back to step number 1. Come on, you guys, let's work together. Mayor, approve it. It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
So Carol Aguilar, 623 Chinook Avenue South. You said that you're holding this up and you're so concerned about the budget and the size of our budget for our police department and our officers and comparability. However, with the overtime that we've had to pay, which you just put pretty astounding overtime hours in, that is more, I'm sure more than what would have been budgeted for those officers to begin with. So really, you're not saving us money by delaying this, you're costing us money.
Any other public comment?
Yeah, Jerry Van Hees, 205 Hawthorne Avenue. Not only are you costing us taxpayers more money by not hiring them, you're costing us our property as it gets lost from the crime rate, and our stuff's getting ripped off and taken out of town.
Any other comments?
Yeah, one at Green, 211 Second Place Southeast. I've lived in the city of Pacific for 15 years. And as an ex-law enforcement officer, this is the first time that I've ever felt afraid for my safety, my belongings in the city of Pacific. I sleep with a loaded gun now. Never had to before. We need to get these positions filled so the city is protected, and to keep, again, here we go, round 1 again. We need a full crew working the city of Pacific. We need our law enforcement officers. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yeah, again, my name is James Rowland, at 115.5 3rd Avenue Southwest, formerly 429 Milwaukee Boulevard. Big house here in the corner, vacant, 3.5 acres. I don't know if you've been over there lately. You walk by that house, you guys remember I moved out there a year and a half ago, it's just like golf course. You walk over there now, every piece of wire inside the house, inside the barn, inside my shed, is gone. I'm not the owner of the house, but I'm going to take care of that. You know why? That place is part of Pacific history. It's one of the first houses built here. First house built here. I spent a lot of time and a lot of love on that house. And I lost it because of all the corruption around here. My stuff getting stolen. Couldn't give up my stuff anymore. The police officers that I've known, I've been here 23 years. Okay, between my girlfriend and mine. 23 years. I've been here 11 years myself. This town, even though we had problems in the past, it's never been this bad. This bad. We need to get pulled together and take care of this stuff, man. We all know that, okay? With the corruption and the theft and stuff that's going on, none of us can afford that. None of us can afford that. The place where I'm at now, I'm scared. Lucky I got 4 dogs. You know what? I got 4 dogs to take care of my property. So, we need to take care of something, all right?
Okay, let's take this to a vote. Roll call, Council.
Councilmember Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember McMahon,
Aye.
Councilmember Putnam,
Aye.
Councilmember Steiger,
Aye.
Councilmember Walker,
Aye.
Councilmember Dyer,
Aye.
Councilmember Holsey,
Aye.
motion carries.
We have a unanimous vote that I should, consider hiring the two, officers.